In this video, I'm about to go over the 5 main things that I focused on to lose 25 pounds in 6 weeks. All right. And I want you to understand that it doesn't have to take you 6, 7, 8 months for you to slim down. Like, if you're anything like me, like we trying to get it as fast as possible, bro. Like, we not trying to wait. We're not waiting until summer. We not waiting until spring break. If we can get it done before Christmas, let's get it done before Christmas. And if that's how you are, then this video is for you. All right. So before I get into it, what's good, man? My name is Muggalero. Some people call me Muggs. Other people call me Lero. And I'm here to give you all the game. I'm here to give you the tactics, the experiences, everything that helped me get from 260 to 185. All right. The purpose of my channel and this channel is simple. I'm just here to teach, here to give you the game. I'm here to help y'all or you get to where you're trying to go. Get back in shape. Get to feeling good again. Get to being yourself. All right. And back to that prime. You feel me? So if you don't know already, I am somebody who lost 80 pounds, and it really only took me it took me 18 weeks in total. But because I got, complacent, really, it ended up being stretched out to 2 years. So that doesn't have to be you, okay? And that's probably why you're here, so that we can get you right as soon as possible. All right. Now you're probably wondering, how did I gain so much weight? Like, how do you go from 180 to 260, right? For me, I used to be a hooper. As you can see, I got the jersey right there. I used to be somebody who played college basketball, and I had a whole bunch of structure, a whole bunch of discipline. Like, there was a system in plan for me to make sure that I'm staying on top of my health, staying on top of my fitness. So, once that ended, that structure kind of went with it too. You know what I mean? And maybe that's you. Maybe life just got hard, adulthood. Long story short, I ended up getting 260 pounds. I was playing junior college basketball. I wanted to play D1. Ended up taking a year off from school. And during that year, I wanted to use it to train. Life happened, and I ended up gaining about 80 pounds. You know what I'm saying? So how can you do that for yourself? I'm going to break it down into 5 of the most important things that you need to be focused on if you trying to get, whether it's 25 pounds, whether it's, I don't know how much weight you're going to lose, but I guarantee you're going to lose some weight. All right. And you're not just going to lose some weight, but you're going to lose that weight fast. You feel me? Because that's all we're trying to do. All right. Number 1, calorie deficit. This is a non-negotiable. There's no other way around it. If you want to lose fat, you have to be eating in a calorie deficit. Okay. I'm going to link it down below, but if you go to caloriecalculator.net and you type it in your phone right now, caloriecalculator.net, what you want to do is you want to go to the website, enter in, there's like 5 questions, and it's going to ask you your weight, how much you exercise, go through that. It's going to tell you at the end how many calories you should be eating on a daily basis in order for you to lose a certain amount of weight per day. So for me, for us, if we're trying to lose that weight fast, what we got to do is we got to choose the lowest level of calories. Excuse me. All right. So we want to choose, I think it's 2 pounds per week loss. Choose that one. All right. Then from there, we want to make sure that we stay consistent in staying underneath that calorie goal. I'd say what worked for me was 80% of the time, right? So what does 80% of the time look like? Throughout the course of a week, that's like 4 or 5 days, okay? It might not start off that way, but that's what we want to aim towards. And then those other 2 days, I reserve them for cheat days. And cheat days, I'll tell you this. On cheat days, this is not the time to be going stupid on your food, bro. If your calorie deficit is 2,000 calories, we do not want to be eating 3,500, okay? Because that's just going to ruin our whole week's progress. It's going to make it hard, okay? We don't want to make it harder on ourselves. All right. So just make sure when you have those cheat days, be mindful of what your calorie deficit is and what foods are good and what foods are not. Okay. Number two, this leads into my second point, protein. All right. So we want to make sure that we're hitting our protein goals. Okay. Protein. Well, before we get into that, you want to make sure that first you set your goal weight. And that could be right now. You might already have it in mind, but visualize what your goal weight is, or what you think what weight you'd be best at. And then from there, once you decide that number, you want to make sure that you're eating that amount of weight in grams of protein. All right. So if you visualize in being 160 pounds, you want to be eating about 160 grams of protein, similar to calories, like 4 days out of the week consistently. All right. So, and it doesn't have to be 160. It could be 150. I'd say anywhere as low as like 150 and above. We want to aim to get that. And there's no such thing as too much protein, if we're being honest. So even if you were to eat 200 grams of protein, you're chilling. All right. Let's move on to number 3, strength training. This one is important. We want to make sure that we're also building muscle while we're slimming down. All right. So for me, I would go to the gym pretty consistently. I shouldn't say pretty consistently. I would go to the gym. There would be stretches where I'd go 6 times a week. There'd be stretches where I go 2, 3, 4 times a week. It all just depends. I'd say that you gotta make sure that you're listening to your body. You know, if you're somebody who's like really overweight right now and you haven't been to the gym in months or years, then going to the gym 4 or 5 times a week probably isn't realistic, right? So you just want to listen to your body, but you want to make sure that you just start and you go. You could even just start in your room. Like that's what I did when I was 260 pounds. It's like I would prioritize walking, which I'll get to later. And then I would also prioritize like doing like body weight push-ups. And if I couldn't do push-ups, you know, I'm on my knees and doing it, or I'm doing it with my legs on the bed or something. You know what I mean? But it's all about starting and then assessing where you're at and going from there, right? But if you're somebody who's been in the gym, this is how I approach it. So I just break it off into 5 main muscle groups. You got arms, chest, back, core, and legs. All right. When you go to the gym, when you're scheduling going to the gym, you don't necessarily have to hit every muscle group every day of the week. Like I said, maybe your body's not going to let you go to the gym 5 days a week. But sometimes what I do is I'll just hit legs yesterday. And if I can't go to the gym again until Tuesday, I'm going to hit chest on Tuesday. And then on Friday, I'm going to hit back on Friday. And then, you know what I mean? Like it's going to lead into the next week, but you can still just keep that same progression and do those exercises for those days and let it bleed into the next week. You don't have to do it all at once, right? So listen to your body and allow yourself to build the momentum, because your body will get stronger over time. All right, number 4, we got steps and cardio. I think steps is the most underrated aspect of losing fat and getting back in shape. Well, I'll say this. Back in March, when I lost the 25 pounds in 6 weeks, I had a 17-day streak where I hit over 10,000 steps for 17 days straight. And during those 17 days was when I noticed the most amount of fat, like shredding, especially from my face and my neck and like my shoulders. So like the visible, I don't know if this is like, I didn't research this or nothing, but this is just personally what happened to me back in March. And then when I first started the journeys, the first 12 weeks, I noticed it the most when I was walking and getting my steps in. And I also incorporated cardio, you know. So for me, what I do for cardio is I just do the Stairmaster. I think the stairs are perfect for cardio. It's I just don't prefer running. Like that shit hurts my shins. And but I also do sports. Like I play basketball. I still play basketball. I'll go to the local gym, or I'll go to a private run or whatever, and I'll be playing. And it's like, you know, you just have to figure out ways that feel good for you. So if running is your thing, go out and run on a treadmill or run outside if you're somewhere warm. But I recommend, if you're just starting out and you don't play any sports like that, I recommend just walking and hitting the stairs. Prefer, like if your gym has a Stairmaster, what I do is I do 10 minutes on the Stairmaster, and then right after that, I'll do 10 minutes on a treadmill with the incline. I usually go incline 3, like 3 miles per hour, and then maximum incline. Sorry, but yeah, that's what I did, and you know, it worked for me. You know what I'm saying? I ended up losing 25 pounds in 6 weeks, and I ended up losing 40 pounds in 12 weeks. So there's that. And then last but not least, we got number 5, the controversial one, just tracking your food. All right, so I know nobody's trying to be entering in stats on their phone when they're trying to eat food and your stomach's, you know what I'm saying? Like your stomach's growling, you're ready to eat. But, tracking isn't about being obsessed or obsessive. Yes, it's a meticulous thing, but what you got to understand is when you're tracking your food, it's giving you exactly what you're putting in your body every single meal. You know exactly how many calories, you know exactly how much protein, how much carbs, you know everything that you're putting in. And that's what you want. You just want clarity, and you want it to be, you just want it to be as simple on yourself as possible. So that's what I did. I ended up investing in MyFitnessPal literally the day I started back in March. I ended up MyFitnessPal is a really good choice. It's personally my favorite. The only thing about MyFitnessPal is you do have to pay for a membership. I think it's like $20 a month. But back in March, what I did is I just bought the yearly pass. It was like $80, $90. And what that does is it allows you to just scan the barcode of whatever food you got. You got a protein bar, like you just scan the barcode. It's going to tell you exactly how much calories, all of that. You know what I mean? So like that's nice. But if you're looking for a free option and you don't want to, pay $20 a month or whatever, or $80, then another app that, some people that I work with use is called Carb Manager, and it allows you to have that scan feature for free. So those are 2 different choices that you could use to track your food, and it'll make tracking a lot easier. Because you don't want to be writing your food down in a notebook, which is something that I did, which is probably a big reason why it took me 2 years to actually get back right. But lucky for you, you got me, so you don't need to go through all of those type of headaches, all right? So to recap the 5, we got number 1, calorie deficit, number 2, protein, number 3, strength training, number 4, steps and cardio, and last but not least, number 5 is tracking. These are the main 5 things that you need to incorporate for you in order for you to see results. Not just see the results, but see the results fast, okay? Before I wrap up the video, I do want to give you a few honorable mentions because I know I said it was going to be 5, but at the same time, there are more things that go into it, and here they are. So number 1, I know nobody wants to hear about this, but sleep. Everybody talks about it. Nobody really wants to hear about it, but it's important. Like, you want to make sure that you're getting a healthy amount of sleep. For you, it might be 6 hours. Some people might be 5. I ain't never heard of nobody that needs 5, but, for me personally, I need 7 to 8 hours. And whenever I would get 7 to 8 hours of sleep, I would feel the lightest in the morning, wouldn't feel bloated. I would just feel good, and I would be comfortable with my weight because I weigh in every morning. That's what I meant to say. All right. But next, water. Water is water. Don't need to really say much about that. But one thing with water, similar to protein, what I do is you take your body weight, whatever you currently are. If you're 200 pounds right now, you want to cut that in half, and you want to be drinking around 90 to 100 milliliters of water a day, right? So that's about 6-7 glasses of water, or 5-6 water bottles a day. And one thing that I would do is, in between meals, you want to make sure that you're drinking water, because one thing that it's going to help with, and that it helped me with, is it made me not overeat, because you're going to have cravings because you're eating in a calorie deficit. You're going to get hungry. But when you drink water, a lot of times that quenches your thirst, because sometimes your body's lying to you, or your mind is lying to you, and really you're just thirsty. But sometimes, it just helps for the time being, so that you're not overeating and you're not going over that calorie deficit. And then last but not least is just consistency. You just want to make sure, you got to understand, like, you're not going to be perfect. There are going to be days where you might end up overeating, bro. But it's okay. You don't want to be too hard on yourself, because it is a process. It is a journey. And you just want to make sure that you focus on the little wins. Just focus on the little things like, oh, okay, let me make sure that I get at least 7, 8 hours of sleep today. And then pause, reflect, and respect what you did. Like, okay, I'm at the gym, I'm doing bench. Usually I do 6, but I'm feeling good. Maybe I'll do 8. It's just like little things like that is what kept me going. And me focusing on those things made it a lot easier for me to get to where I'm at right now. All right. So that's it for this video. I will say though, if you don't know what foods you should be eating or what foods are good for fat loss or what foods you like, I have a whole comeback kit that I crafted that has 12 different meal templates and all the philosophies that I use to eat the right foods and to stay underneath my calorie goals. If that's something that you're interested in or something that you're struggling with, go ahead and get that for yourself. I'm gonna link it down below and I can give that to you for free. All you gotta do is click the link. But that's gonna be it for me, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate you if you made it this far. And we gonna get right. Trust. Okay, so don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'm gonna catch you in the next video.